2-3 footsteps when I hear a loud bang. I thought Lori may have fell or the table tipped over in the lobby right here. I turn around and I see a sight that undescribable. Here is a young man standing with a rifle, pointing right at me. And I look at him. He had sunglasses on. I couldn't see his eyes. I couldn't see his soul. And I see Lori laying on the floor unconscious. And her dear husband, Dr. Howard Kaye, who's like a brother to me, is trying to resuscitate her. And he faints. And he's laying there on the floor next to his wife. And then the daughter Hannah comes out screaming, "Daddy and Mommy, what's going?" This is the most heart-wrenching sight I could have seen.
That is Rabbi Goldstein, the Chabad synagogue rabbi from Poway, which is a suburb of San Diego. Of course, he's talking about the terrorist attack on that synagogue. The rabbi himself, I don't know if you saw in that very first shot, lost an index finger as he fought back against the terrorist. Another congregant, a convert to Judaism, Jonathan Morales, who is a member of the border police, got his firearm and fought back. And unfortunately, Lori Kaye, of course, succumbed to her injuries, but it could have been far, far worse. Well, our own Keean Bexte is on the scene and was there as Rabbi Goldstein addressed the crowd. He is there again today. Keean, thanks for joining us via Skype from right outside the synagogue.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit, I mean, obviously, I don't need to ask you what the mood is. It's one of sorrow and shock, but things could have been a lot worse. Am I right?
They could have been a lot worse. I'll give you a visual of what this place looks like right now. They're setting up for a funeral for Lori Kaye. She was the individual who was shot by the assailant. But you're right, it could have been a lot worse. There could have been a much higher death toll. An individual by the name of Jonathan Morales picked up a sidearm inside of the building and chased the shooter out, who was inside of his car already, because another individual by the name of Oscar Stewart threw a chair at him and charged at him while yelling, as reported by the Daily Caller earlier. So Oscar chased him out of the synagogue itself, and then Jonathan swooped in with his firearm, shooting off a couple shots at the vehicle as it looked like he was picking up another rifle. And then after Jonathan let those shots off, the assailant fled and was eventually arrested by the police.
That's incredible. We've set up a website called thankyoujonathan.com. You did a great little video for us that we put up earlier today of various people at the synagogue last night saying thank you to him. Of course, there was that other congregant as well. What was interesting to me is that the rabbi broke with the official left-wing narrative because, of course, number one, it was a gun wielded by Jonathan Morales that saved the congregation. And number two, the rabbi was delighted to get a truly warm phone call from Donald Trump. I think we have a clip of that. Let me play for you a short clip of the rabbi speaking about Donald Trump. Here, take a listen to this.
And he spent close to 10-15 minutes with me on the phone. It's the first time I have ever spoken to a president of the United States of America. He shared with me condolences on behalf of the United States of America. And we spoke about the moment of silence. And he spoke about his love of peace and Judaism and Israel. And he was just so comforting that I'm really grateful to our president for taking the time and making that effort to share with us his comfort and consolation.
Keean, I think that the rabbi was speaking truthfully there. He's a Chabad rabbi, which means he's more conservative. He's not a liberal Trump basher. I believe that Trump was very warm. Trump can be actually wonderful in these moments of crisis. Two ways that this breaks the narrative. Number one, the rabbi's not a Trump hater. And number two, a firearm indeed was involved in committing the crime, but a firearm stopped it from becoming a massacre.
Yeah, that's correct. The rabbi spoke very nicely about how Donald Trump called him, the president called him, and was very warm, spoke to him like an old colleague. He was also talking later at the vigil that was held yesterday about this phone call, and he went in detail about what they talked about. He talked about the state of Israel and his support against the Jewish, Donald Trump's support against the fight against anti-Semitism. It was very nice. He said he spoke to him like an old colleague. Speaks to how personable and kind Donald Trump really is, contrary to what the mainstream media and the left will say.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.